and applying resistance. So, yeah. Again, isometric testing is about a position of convenience, so it's just an easy way to screen to see if they might have a weakness. So if I'm testing the trunk flexors, I'm going to be placing one hand on her sternum, one hand on her lower back to stabilize her pelvis, and then telling her to maintain this position, so don't let me move you. Again, she'd be using her abdominal muscles to hold that position, so that's testing for trunk flexion, okay? And then for extension, I'm going to kind of hook around her pelvis to stabilize her here, and then ask her to not move. So don't let me move you, yep. So this is testing more trunk extensors, so she's not letting me push her into flexion. And then for her lateral stabilizers, one hand on the pelvis, one hand on the shoulder, don't let me move you. Okay, good. And then the opposite direction, don't let me move you. So let's test the obliques. Relax, good. And then you're going to have a seat up here to check for rotation strength. So you can have your patient just rest their arms on their chest. And then don't let me twist you. Good, and again, this checks more of the rotation ability of the obliques. And don't let me move you. Good. Okay, so if we were to find that there were a weakness in one of those movements, so say she breaks, or she has a really difficult time stabilizing, then we might break out into the manual muscle test for the trunk flexors and extensors, which we'll get to a little bit later. And the trunk rotators too. We have an MMT for all three of those planes of motion. For the lower extremity, go ahead and lay on your back. So when we tested the shoulder, right, we just put the arm at 90 degrees of flexion for just a position of convenience. So for the hip, we're going to put the hip up at 90 degrees. When you apply your resistance, I would recommend for the strength testing part to have them bend their other knee, just for support and stability of their back. So start from this position, they come up into flexion, and then again your instruction is don't let me move you. So you're doing isometric resistance, go ahead and hold. So hip flexion, and hold, hip extension, good. And then I'm going to hold here, hip abduction, and hip adduction. Good. And now I'm even watching her here because what I noticed with that is there was a little trunk movement. So that might make me think, again, more of her core stabilizers in terms of weakness. So that's part of what you're looking for when you're screening your strength too, right? You're looking for proximal stability as well as the strength of the actual hip. So if I notice that her trunk is moving, I might say, oh, I might actually want to be taking a look more at her oblique strength, or something that we won't be doing here, like transverse abdominis, deeper inner core strength. But anyway, so that would be kind of a note for a substitution or an issue with proximal stability. So abduction, adduction, flexion, extension, and then for internal and external rotation, stabilize at the distal femur. This would be testing external rotation. And then for internal rotation, the opposite direction. So go ahead and hold. Scooch a little closer to me, actually. And then hold here. Okay. And then you can do knee extension here as well, so hold it. Yeah. Good. So quads, hold it. Hamstrings. Good. And then you can even do ankle dorsiflexion, so hold it there. And inversion, hold it. And eversion. Okay. For plantar flexion, you can certainly do resistance in this position, but oftentimes we'll be looking more at if they can do a heel rise more functionally and weight bearing. So I typically, if I'm going to be screening for lower extremity strength, my screen is to see if they can just do a heel rise, which gives me a sense for the calf strength. If they are unable to do that, then you might be putting them more in this position, which is the gravity minimized position actually to test for resistance. So, any questions on that?